Welcome to our 5th Fast Five, where we're going to find crazy movie ideas from your Untappd check-ins. 5th Fast Five. Now say that 5 times without touching your lips together. Fifth Fast Five. 5th Fast Five. 5th Fast Five. 5th Fast Five.
All right, so John just went on a little research trip up north to visit the famed Tree House Brewery. Did you see any good movies up there?
Honestly, it was a lot more beer than movies, and there was also some pizza, which was pretty good. And even more surprisingly, they provide health care for all of their employees.
What?
Cheers to you, Treehouse. I wish more people did that, including hospitality jobs. Anyways, aside from making spirits, they make the bags to hold your golf sticks in.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like t-shirts and swag, a lot of great beers available. I brought a couple home actually to inspire us through this now 5th installment of the Fast Five.
Woo, that's right. Today we're going to be sipping on beers exclusively from Tree House Brewing. And if that doesn't sound like a brag, you must be new here.
So when I was there, I saw a beer that instantly reminded me of Harrison. I was reading through their extensive tap list and cans to go and everything. This one, I immediately knew I had to bring home from him. It's called Waffle Banger. And if you followed Harrison for a while, you know that he has a weird tie into waffles throughout a lot of weird aspects in his life. Specifically, though, this one is the blueberry banana breakfast version. Harrison, this is like the ultimate diabetic handshake. Now, please join me in my high blood sugar.
That's right. That's right. It's going through the roof. John's death-o-meter's beeping like crazy over here. But that's okay. He's used to it. This is amazing. Thank you, John. You have got something else very weird that you're going to be sipping on tonight. House brewed coffee, creamy condensed milk, wild strawberry. Is that good for your blood sugar, John?
Probably not scientifically, but I think it was Bukowski that said, find what you love and let it kill you. Because everything's going to kill you. You might as well die from something you love.
That's right.
So yeah, this is weird. So for all you Puritans out there, this is officially not a beer.
Right.
It is canned cocktail made by a brewery using spirits that the brewery made.
I love that.
Right. So like but definitively it's not a beer.
All right. So while you quantify that, we're going to keep going. You pour that. I've already poured mine. I'm super excited. Holy crap. Yours just looks like you. That's a very specific kind of chocolate color.
You is brown. Nailed it.
You tan.
With a touch of strawberry and rum.
That's how Yoo-hoo was intended. Yoo-hoo in its final form. God, that looks amazing.
Wow. Cheers Treehouse right here. Coffee liqueur as well, my bad. And their own rum. Cafe du Lot. This is something we don't get to experience in North Carolina.
Yeah, no.
Our liquor laws are weird here, but... So, and I don't know if I'm admitting to a crime or not, but
anyway. Who knows where we are right now? We could be on the moon.
That's true. North Carolina, the area of Rome.
Right. Yeah, the northern Carolina looking part of it. Yeah. All right. Okay. Also, before we jump into recapping last week, remember, take a moment if you haven't yet, subscribe to the podcast. We all forget stuff. I forget all kinds of things. This way, you don't need to think about us. Just do your thing, live your life. Your phone starts making noise, buzzing at you every time a new episode comes out. You get a little alert, notification, and you remember, today's ride to work, a little bit funnier, a little bit quicker, maybe, because of the fun and the laughter. Who knows? Please subscribe. It means the world to us.
Yeah, do it for you, if anything.
Right.
And also big thanks to our growing fan base so far. We've seen some awesome comments come in from old friends and new friends on YouTube and Instagram. And don't forget, if you listen to us on Spotify, we'll be posing direct questions and polls for each episode that we release. So if you're just listening, you might as well listen on Spotify. They're not paying me to say that. No one pays me to say anything.
Right. Pay me to not say things. Yeah.
And speaking of that, before we jumped into the Untappd feed, what did you think about last week's feature, Ice Melter?
Ice Melter. I think it was one of my, maybe my favorite one we've done. Bold hot take, bold statement.
Yeah.
I love it. I kept thinking about it long after we finished. I actually have a couple like more thoughts than usual, I guess, about it. Things I would have added, which again, this is your first time joining us. We make these things up on the spot. So this is not even a rough draft. This is like the thought you have in the shower that eventually becomes the rough draft. You get to see it. Thank God, not while we're in the shower. But see us have that thought together. So kind of quick edits or whatever things I would add. I think so. If it's like an '80s fantasy movie, which is it's a genre. If you don't
One of the
know
best.
that, you're very young, and don't worry, the internet exists. They're all on the internet. You can watch all these great movies that John and I grew up watching.
Na, 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 na.
Yeah, it's all there for everybody to enjoy. But I think, hear me out, John. I think there should be kind of a implied hidden history that like this valley they lived in was maybe like inhabited by the last ice giants that existed in the world. That's why the sword is originally there. And so maybe we would hide things like if you were watching it in a movie, maybe there'd be little Easter eggs and stuff around, like one of the mountains kind of looks like a fallen down ice giant that's covered in snow, or the hockey team's called the Ice Giants or the Avalanche or whatever the hell we called them. I think though one of the ones I had this thought the other day, it'd be cool if the opening scene when they're shutting the town down and telling everyone what's going on, preparing for that year's the snow in, maybe they huddle around like a statue in town. And it's like of the town's founder, and the statue as it's seen in the movie is like a big dude carrying like a bag of grain in one hand, represent like the food that you'll have to survive the winter, and then it's like fist is to the sky, and the story that's told is like, in spite of the avalanche, like fist to the sky, we persevere because we prepared with food. But like I think there'd be a cool scene in the beginning where like one of the four kids looks up at like the fist and notices that like you can kind of see through it.
Yes.
Exactly. Where like a sword, a replica sword used to be. I don't even think needs to be ice melter. I think it can just be like a replica of it. But again, as part of the town trying to erase the history a little bit to keep the power where it's where it is with the bad guys. They just kind of removed that sword, many decades ago or whatever. But like the little things like that where it would help build up the world a bit and foreshadow some things, and maybe even that replica sword, maybe it's like broken in pieces in the bottom of what's his face's house, the Kane guy, and
like the hilt was there, something like that,
or like a sharp piece of it, and like maybe ice melter gets taken away from the kids, but they find like a sharp piece of the replica, and that comes in handy to scare the guy into the warehouse to have the wolves eat him or whatever. But anyway,
yes.
So that I think would have been cool. So kind of building up that story of like, why does ice melter even exist? This is kind of weird. So we can give a reason there. More booby traps to get ice melter, because that's always fun via Indiana Jones and the Goonies and stuff. Because who doesn't love a good booby trap scene?
Booby traps, it would have been hard to really kind of ideate those on the spot. But after we recorded Ice Melter, it was like the next day I went home and watched Goonies.
Yes.
Obviously, there was a lot of inspiration from there. And the traps were like the most memorable part of that movie for me. Like the playing the organ and so like having maybe even getting an element like the Fratellis to kind of give chase to this.
Yep, sure.
Of course, you're rebuilding a whole different arc of the story there, but having something more than, or maybe it was the wolves.
I think it was the
wolves.
Yeah.
Giving the kids a little bit like a wolf chomping at them to hurry up and figure this out, and building the booby traps. I'd like to say I thought of some, but I like even the scene where they were going through the river and someone falls in, like just expanding, like, if we were writing that to be a proper movie, that would have been part of uncovering when they got to the cave where the ice melter is, of course, there would have been a lot of booby traps and sort of Indiana Jonesy there.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So again, if this ever becomes a movie, which I hope it does, we'll take some time.
And of course, you can't forget that you created the Wayne Gretzky story.
I know, and I did. That was kind of a great little bow on the top. Unfortunately, the timing doesn't quite line up. I did we assume this is an '80s movie. He's already in the NHL in 1979, so we missed him by like 5 to 10 years there. But still funny. Maybe it was Mario Lemieux or someone else there. It doesn't have to be Wayne Gretzky, but that is funnier. So yeah, I like that was in there. Yeah, but the theme itself, we never stated it, but I feel like it was basically. There are a lot you could pull out of it, but the risk of not believing in yourself is the greatest risk of all. That's what this, and again, the reward is greater when you leap and build your wings on the way down, as they say. So that's what happened. Everyone got kind of what they wanted, even if they didn't know what they wanted when the story started. So sometimes you find that out on the journey, on the way to the unknown. But it was a blast. I loved it. The YouTube thumbnail is my favorite YouTube thumbnail. By far, I want to make it into a poster.
I had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, it was amazing. If you haven't seen that, please check it out on YouTube. But yeah, so I had a lot of thoughts about that one. John, anything to add? Any other thoughts?
I have the never-ending story theme song stuck in my head. I would have liked to have done obviously I said I watched Goonies and Data was probably my favorite role in there. So I think it was the rich kid, given him an opportunity to demonstrate his value and kind of have him change from almost like a rich kid bully into a really valuable member of this little troop that was built. That would have been fun. But I got almost goosebumps. The risk of not believing in yourself is the greatest risk of all. What a lesson to learn. That is right out of an 80s,
right out of the 80s
sci-fi movie, right? Like, I mean, I think you had mentioned earlier before we recorded Princess Bride, which did a lot of things for young women that I grew up with. I think I didn't, but like maybe there's a way we even have someone else acts kind of like a quest giver, like a strong archetype to help kind of coach these kids up a little bit. It's not necessary, but being able to put someone in the story that could act as like almost like a fallen authority, but really full of integrity, trustworthy, and but doesn't get a lot of respect from anyone else in town.
Right. Or now we're getting crazy, but also it's an 80s fantasy movie. Maybe like, God, I can't remember any of their names, but maybe wasn't Tommy. Tommy was the brother,
the little kid.
And then maybe they can see their dad in the ice, like maybe his spirit or ghost or whatever. Like, so instead of it being a person that's alive as they're going on the quest, he can kind of hear his father's voice calling him in the dark and goes to the frozen river and sees him under it, trying to give him, like a spirit quest, like in the spirit realm, he's receiving messages about what to do, kind of hinting at what to watch out
like
for.
we had the journal, but maybe almost like, I had a dream about, or he like kind of zones out every once in a while, or whenever he's like doing his ice dancing, he can kind of connect the cold Michael Flatley.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. But anyway, I think there's a lot there. I had a blast doing it. The bones are there for sure in that episode, but I think we could. Yeah, it's one of those ones where right as I was done, I was like, oh, I want to write this, and I know how to start it like a little bit different, and I can see the whole thing through pretty much, which is cool and rare because a lot of the times you got to rewrite stuff like 5 or 6 times, and we probably still do that with this, but sometimes it's not until that 6th time you're like, that's what I was trying to say on round 1. I'm glad we finally got there.
Like getting into an argument with your significant other, right? Like, if only I could go back and say what I wanted to say instead of just acting like a spoiled child and getting in trouble.
Oh my gosh. Yes, so many if onlys. My life is built in if onlys, but a lesson in each one, or so I tell myself. All right, cool. But that's all my thoughts on Ice Belter. It was a blast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know more about it if you haven't yet.
I guess that pretty much does it in for us. That's everything from last week. Now
you know what
it's time to get your gear shifting hands out and put your foot on the clutch pedal and get ready for the fast five.
Shifted hands out.
Which are also your hamburger hands. They're the same.
Right, they're everything. They emits. They're your poop scooping hands. They're whatever you got to do. Only got 2 of them. Use them wisely. Off to drunk Twitter we go. Diddle-a-doo. And we're going to start and go and make Ice Melter 2.
Now, before we get started in our regular scroll, Harrison,
Yes.
I'm
What we got?
totally surprising Harrison with I don't know
Great.
if he knows this was coming,
I don't
but
think
we
I-
had a comment from a listener on Spotify.
Yes.
Brian, awesome feedback from Brian on the way the 4th dose worked as well. Thanks for that, Brian, if you're listening still.
Oh, that's right.
And he asked, we asked, what beer would you turn into a film? So Brian was the first person to answer that question. And Harrison, on the spot, Brian submits from Ghost Hawk Brewing Company up
Great
in New Jersey, Wayward Hellion.
Yep. Wayward, a Belgian strong golden ale. Wayward. So isn't a Hellion, what are they, like a...
It's what you call your nephews.
Sure. But I think before that, were these like some kind of demon warrior? Were they the ones that fought the demons? Were they... that would influence obviously the title here. What the heck a helium is?
Learning
It's not
what
helium. Wayward helium would just be a balloon that floated into the ocean, which we've all seen those.
Webster's tells me that Hellion is a troublesome or mischievous person.
Oh, okay.
Someone who gets into trouble. Wayward Hellion.
So it could be about just feisty nephews, but wayward sounds a little more epic than just someone who's annoying you at a barbecue. So, Wayward Hellion. I mean, could this be the story? Here we go. Son of a gun.
That quickly.
Well, I don't know if it makes sense, but so we all know Johnny Appleseed, the story at least, of this do-gooder who's going around planting apple seeds. Maybe that was like punished. Maybe he was like just a bad dude robbing stagecoaches. Let's check or whatever time period appropriate vessel that carried money. Kind of had a band of merry thieves that played music and got drunk and pillaged villages. So a wayward Hellion, if you will, Hellion, whatever. And something happens to him where he has a change of heart, probably involves a woman. Maybe she loves apples. She dies in her honor and in vain and vengeance, plants the apples, seeds all over the country as he hunts down her killers. I don't know. I don't know why Johnny Appleseed came into my head right away. I just like rewriting origin stories.
I guess so. Yeah. When I was at Tree House Brewery, I learned that Johnny Appleseed is from Leominster, Mass, or if you're from Massachusetts, Leominster.
Got it.
And I think the idea of like being a carriage, like kind of like growing up a Hellion.
Yeah.
And then this love story happens, and then she's taken from him. So his wayward act is like filling the world with apples.
The one thing their killer was allergic to.
And her name was Granny Smith.
Right. Like the older gals, that Johnny Appleseed. They were more sought after back then because they made it. They lived through all the death and the plagues and stuff. So an older lady was seen to be hardy and something to be chased down carefully because they're old and fragile. Anyway, this is great. I love that. I did see that comic come through, and I meant to think more about it, but here we are. Now we have a new origin story for Johnny Appleseed.
Well, thanks for submitting that one. We're going to get on to the feed and take a little look at what y'all have been drinking.
Holy crow. Let's do that old spin. Hit that roulette reel.
We're going to move
wheel.
up one. Okay. The roulette roll wheel. All wheels roll, unless I made it.
Right.
And it kind of cobbles and
right.
plunks along.
We'll get there, all right? Just calm down.
If the hill is
not,
steep enough,
right.
the wheel will work.
Right. Try not to bite your tongue as we bump along here.
So we're going to start out tonight with a beer from Andrew. Little Willow Brewing Company gives us
that.
Willpower.
Willpower.
Or Willpower. But
this is will space power. Willpower. Sounds like a dude. I mean, there's so many movies that are jumping into my head, and I just see either Will Ferrell or Adam Sandler being this Will Power character. And this is not a rags to riches, but this is like somebody overcomes some stuff. The town can't do Waterboy, even though I've just said Adam Sandler, and that's all I can
What
think
else
about.
is there, really?
But this is someone who this is willpower. Maybe this is the guy that invents willpower. Maybe it's a world where everyone just kind of does what they're supposed to do, goes through the motions. No one's really speaking up about, I don't like how crappy my job is. Oh, my roof leaks. How the bread my wife makes is always hard. I'll just take what comes at me and deal with it. But willpower is not going to settle. He's going to do what he wants to do and needs to do and find some feeling inside him nobody else has ever felt before to say, you know what? We can make better bread. We can fix that leak. We can turn this crummy little dust ball of a town around, and I don't know. And then he out of something.
Did you just write the origin story for Buddhism?
Right. And then he goes into the woods and eats rice. Right. Yeah, maybe I did, but something, I don't know. That's what I got.
So for me, it took a little bit of listening to Harrison, and then all of a sudden the idea of one of those infomercial guys named Will Power is it's like the story of Will Power. Think Billy Mays.
Yeah, I see him. I can see him so clearly.
And Will Power was like this constant failed inventor, failed businessman, failed salesman, and then he has this like last ditch effort. The family's about to lose everything. Ooh. He's finally going in on his big idea. I have yet to think of
the water powered car.
The no, we don't want him to get killed.
This is a tragedy, this story. I see it. I see the end of it. You got us to the beginning.
Will Power with the water-powered Vespa gets like a late-night infomercial ad with his last dime, and he's on there just slinging these things, right? Yep. They'll run on dirty water. They'll run on clean water.
Right, your toilet water, whatever water you got.
Willpower
changes the world, until the government kills him. But I like that. I like this. I love it. Willpower. There's a lot to do there. I think we kind of get the gist, though. But thank you for that, Andrew.
All right, moving on. We've got Nate giving us from Freak Folk Bier.
Ooh, cool.
Fashion War.
And that's a heck
of
a
great.
Look at the artwork. The
beautiful artwork on here. It looks like Rocco or All Real Monsters and Rocco's Modern Life.
It's the Thornberries.
I see Quail Man on there.
This is awesome. All right, Fashion War. We had a similar, I forget what it was called. It was
Mom
such a
Jeans.
long name. Well,
no, sorry.
Yeah, not Mom Jeans. That one's one of my favorites, though. Maybe one day we'll make it. But the like beautification, whatever it was last time about the that we eventually turned into maybe 2 times ago, like a fashion show where the last person standing one became it was like the decimated path of beauty or something.
Yep.
Anyway,
you're right.
One of those.
Eviscerated beauty or something like that.
There we go. So that's where my mind went right away. Fashion war, but let's have more fun with it. We can do better than that. So what else could a fashion war mean?
I say it's a little maybe satirical might not be the right word, but it's like think Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And then you've got like House Gucci versus House Louboutin versus House Ferragamo, and then like out from nowhere comes the Kirkland signature family.
The people's jeans socks.
They've got so much supplies.
Yeah, right. They just overwhelm them. Exactly right. They can't keep up. The linen from Thailand is running behind. They're making jeans out of garbage. We can't keep up with this.
We build sales across the world.
Right. They're taking everyone's waste and turning them into shoes.
Also, the hot dogs. Forget about it. We can't even feed ourselves.
You really can't compete. And the Costco ends up ending all these huge fashion houses that have been around for generations. I love that. Love the power of Kirkland. Never doubt the power of Kirkland. They're too big. I love that. Would be hilarious, John. That's a great idea. Love it. Fashion war. Or exactly right. And that's just the last person standing is eating $1.50 hot dog, smiling. Never in doubt.
Let's scroll up again here. We've got Tyler S. giving us a beer name.
Very beery beer.
We got Road K. Lounge music.
Mango Mule. Gosh.
from Wiley Roots.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great brewery.
Um,
Is that Two Berry?
it is like
Music.
lounge music, great film. Quentin Tarantino for
Yep,
sure.
yep.
Mango Mule, also good film, but the two of
Yeah.
them together, kind of hard. This is like a fruit pirate who doubles as like a street performing rogue or something.
Yes.
Like he's bringing in Mexican mangoes into
Right.
California in the early days, and he's undercutting California growers. And
I like that. And
as
he uses his music's a front. He moves
Totally, yep.
mangoes, but he goes from lounge to lounge, playing every night, trading mangoes for place to sleep, also moving huge amounts of mangoes, industrial amounts of mangoes to local mango gangs who pass them out.
Mango
and
gangs.
then they extort the prices. Maybe that's what happens. He's one stop along the way in a shadier than shady town. They are extorting the mangoes. He's sweating and bled to get to that town, and extorting the people who really need him. So he decides to kind of do a little bit of a Zorro move and try to out the bad guys and get the people their mangoes, even though he doesn't need to, because he's not a good guy. He's just doing what he needs to survive.
not bad for a bonus beer.
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
take that. I don't know if that's in the running, but
No, but it's fun.
as it should be.
Man,
Chris from Tree House Brewing checks into Red Fern. Red Fern.
That's a book, isn't it?
Sure. Everything's a book.
It's with the dog. Isn't Red Fern? It's not Old Yeller. I feel like I read Red Fern, and it's about like two dogs. It's a kid. It's very similar to Old Yeller. Two dogs in the woods. I think one of them gets hurt somehow, and he has to shoot it. I think it's Where the Red Fern Grows. That's what it's called.
Okay. That sounds like a Blake Shelton song.
Right. It is also that. He loves red ferns. So I'm slightly colored by that, but red fern.
I go someplace like you know how like the
Oh.
plant was basically the god of the Avatar planet, Pandora.
Yes.
So there's like maybe like a Native American tribe that is waiting for the reemergence of this red fern after
it.
400 or
Love
500 years, and
Love this.
when it grows, they know how to probably smoke it, or you know, like
Totally,
use it
definitely.
as a salve, and it gives them powers, maybe hallucinogenic powers. I don't know, but it's something that they use as a catalyst to get back into not even a state of power, but just like a unity and peaceful
Right.
life that they've
Right.
always wanted.
And maybe this is ripping off Kung Fu Panda, but maybe like the legend in the tribe is like a daughter will be born who will know where the red fern is and will lead us to this new chapter in our tribe's life, and everyone thinks it's this one girl. This is horrible. And then some other girl from maybe just say another tribe shows up.
A white girl from
That's
Boston.
what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Who's had her whole life handed to her already, lands in this tribe and ruins a Native American girl.
She's doing Instagram videos. And
Yeah, I don't want that. Let's have it be another tribe, and just kind of shows up, flips everything on its head, and she's the one who's picked to go find the red fern, and they got to get over their beef and yada yada. I like this. This is fun. Love it. Let's just
Okay.
Yep. Let's just not.
thumbnails. I mean, I think
Let's not
anybody
John
that's watched
Smith
the show
this.
now knows we kind of riff on a few until we find one that perplexes
Oh
us.
yeah,
But
yeah.
in a perfect
Yes.
world, we may go back to one of these, i.e. Powder Jones.
Correct.
So
Someday.
we got
Yes.
Wet Hopped Headhunter from
Love
Jason.
that, but two berry.
16 ounces to freedom
Mm.
from Odd by Nature. Thanks, Aaron. 16
Love
ounces
that
of
name.
freedom is a beer name, but it's also like a kind of a comedy movie
Yep.
sort of thing. I mean,
Instead of 40 ounces to freedom,
Yeah,
it's
exact.
16. A
Yeah.
little less far to go.
we're only 1 pint away. Or it could be like maybe there's like, I'm thinking of people like crossing an international border,
Okay.
and there's something with the weight.
Yes.
Maybe it's even like in the dystopian future where like the one guy is just 16 ounces too heavy and he can't lose his pound, so he has to
Right,
choose to like
right.
cut his arm off or something.
Oh, he's got a pick.
Or he's stuck living in whatever place he's trying
Hellscape
to
he's
escape.
Stuck in. and he's got to make a decision.
New Jersey Turnpike.
Right. Yep. He's eating overturned Twinkie trucks.
Almost. There was that movie like 127 Hours.
Yes.
It's kind of a riff on that, I
Okay,
guess.
I like it. He's got a, what is it, a Faustian choice or whatever?
Yes, I think that's right. Yeah.
He cut his foot off or keep that loaf of bread.
Yeah.
They have bread in
Is
there,
it brioche?
man.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, you don't understand.
This is mostly egg.
Right. That's right. Very emotionally attached to this bread. How old is it? Are you going to eat it? I like that. That's fun. Perfect. 16
Okay.
ounces of
I'm going to scroll through. We got Steven giving us the hazy IPA from Ska Brewing.
Love that. Fun stuff.
Okay, this could be fun from Ty.
Oh, here we go.
Monday Night Brewing.
Man, this is almost too. Go ahead. What's it called?
Think I'm in Love. Think I'm in Love.
Sounds like a pop song. I think it is a pop song.
Oh, yeah.
Is it a? It's
I think I'm in
Eddie
love
Money.
now. Nope,
Or
that's
there's
different.
an Eddie Money song too, I think.
2 tickets to Think I'm in Love Town.
Close. Same album. There's an Eddie Money song called "Think I'm in Love." Great song. But gosh, I see Hugh Grant. He's in this.
Yep.
And now everyone else sees the entire movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's it, unfortunately.
That's the whole movie. It's him and Julia Roberts. It's 20 years ago, and they're both radio DJs on one. He's in England, she's in New York, and they have a rivalry over the airwaves somehow, and meet on a plane and get stuck in a layover in Greenland and hate each other and end up falling in love in the Greenland airport through a series of escalating whodunits and dares. Find out they're perfect for each other at the end. Boom.
Done. Sometimes it's just that easy. Lori gives us Hot Bullet from Sierra Nevada. Great beer, not a good movie.
I was going to say that's obviously the sequel to Atomic Torpedo. This is the Atomic Torpedo from Soviet Russia.
Now they're personal carry weapons.
If you remember from the sad town of Chernobyl, he faces off with Hot Bullet, America's answer to the Atomic Torpedo, and that's the sequel to Atomic Torpedo. Hot Bullet played by a big 80s.
You think we get Sean Connery?
Oh, okay. He's not American, though. But we'll never address that. He'll have a thick Scottish accent. For some reason, he's speed skating for the United States of America. It just says horribly inappropriate things to this poor guy from Russia. It's great. I'd see that.
10 of 10. Siskel and Ebert ruined his career.
Right. Never apologize for it. I like
True.
that.
They did the same thing to Jim Carrey, and then they apologized.
That's right, as they should.
Moving on, Chris drinks from Blood Brothers Brewing. Are they Canadian? I think they are.
I don't know. That's an intense name. I like it.
Great name. No One Loves Anything Anymore.
So this stars Hugh Grant and Julia.
The sequel. I think I'm in love.
Divorced, right? Same airport. They realize, what have we been doing? We've been drunk for 3 days. We don't love each other. We have nothing in common.
Oh, that's great.
That's right. As soon as they shut the bars down and reality comes back into focus, that would be hilarious. Yeah, sure.
Yep. That or a documentary about the plastic islands in the oceans. Either of those.
There we go. That's deep. I like that. Both. It could be both.
True.
Could make 2 movies.
Somehow.
2 movies.
Same name.
Yep. I just won't mention it.
Great beer, Matt. From Trogs, Nugget Nectar.
Nugget Nectar.
Beautiful photo, too.
Beautiful photo. Great beer. I don't think we can make this into a movie, but man, do I want one of those.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I just think of chicken nuggets. I guess
Me too. That's all I'm thinking about. Is chicken nuggets.
Like, I don't want to see where this movie goes.
Smothered in barbecue.
Nugget Nectar could be good. I just don't have it in me right now, so we're gonna skip past that. We're gonna skip past Red Rye because it's pretty on the nose with beer. Ooh, Paul.
Hey now, Paul.
Fate La Force Brewing. Paul checks into Nefarious Fellow.
Ooh.
So this is the Johnny Appleseed origin story.
Yes. Oh man. I mean, this could be Nefarious.
It's the name Fellow that implies like Ichabod Crane
exactly
sort
right.
of.
Yep, this guy has buckles on his shoes. I know that,
Yeah.
but I can't see anything else yet.
He's like the evil kind of slicked back sheriff from that Shia LaBeouf movie.
Ooh. Okay.
What was it called? The Shia LaBeouf and Tom Hardy.
Oh,
Outlast.
is that what it's called? I
Yeah,
think I know what
where
you're
they're like
talking about.
moonshiners.
Okay.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, that was a tangent, not
No, I
worth
get
having
it.
because I can't remember anything about the most greatest movie I ever saw. I can never remember the name
Remember
of
what it's
it.
called. What is that called? I'm not gonna remember now either. Okay, but nefarious fellow. I see. Right. Okay, it could be that. But what's the story? What's this? What are they doing? Are they moonshiners? Are they looking for gold? Are they? Man.
Okay, I'm gonna run with
Ooh.
gold.
Okay.
Nefarious Fellow takes place in the California 49er gold rush,
Okay.
whatever time of the world that was. And everybody's moving out there to get gold, and you got to buy your plots. You spec out your
Yep.
plots, and you rent it to try and get gold. And you all have to buy it from this old guy, old Paul.
Okay.
And on his like on the front of his business, it just says like Goldfellow. But eventually we learn somehow that he's quite nefarious. Maybe he's like double selling, or he's charging people for
Absolutely is.
land that's already been prospected.
Right, or he just knows the valley floods, every 40 days.
All I gotta do is put him out there at the end of the month, and then I can rent it again
They'll
next
dig
week.
up all the gold, and then I'll come and pick it up off their dead bodies. And some young kid gets smart to it, and he tries to warn everybody, and they brush him off. Get out of here, kid.
The origin story of meteorology.
Right. Oh man, but that could be something. But someone finally figures out that nefarious fellow's real end game and pulls one over on him, floods him for once. That could be fun. I like that. I like westerny movies.
Yeah, I like the gold rush
westerns.
idea
I like
too.
that.
I wish I knew more about it, but they would dip their hands in the water.
That's it.
Done, and
gold
now we're
will stick
rich.
to it, and then that's right.
I try it every time I'm next to a river.
That's right. Nothing but catfish.
50-50, you're gonna pull up some gold. All right, moving on. Goldie Kolsch again, a little too beery, but thanks, Dave.
Fun stuff.
Randy Royal Rumble Double Red with Blood Orange from Witch's Hat Brewing.
I think that's too beery.
Yeah,
Royal
Rumble would be fun.
Sure, but we know what that is.
Wow, we got some good ones tonight. I mean, Nocturnal Pivo,
I think that's also
beer
too beery.
term from Resurgence.
Love that.
I think they're out of
amazing.
Buffalo too.
Oh, okay.
Go Bills.
Awesome.
Thanks, Andrew. From Thai C again.
Centennial IPA.
Flathead. Yeah, it's a
That'd
little
be great.
beery.
But that's an awesome beer.
Great beer, yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
both
boy.
hard in here. I can
Oh,
see.
boy.
God, looks like Powder Jones in this picture.
Oh man, it's for Brian.
Oh,
Brian,
man.
one of the best commenters so far. That's what
Yes.
happens when you put ketchup on a hot dog.
Holy crap.
Oh.
I mean, this feels like it could be like they took Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and made it a movie. This was a book that someone wrote about just life lessons. That's what happens when you put ketchup on a hot dog and someone turned it into a movie. But what the heck would the movie be? It could be, this could go, it's such a specific comment, it could almost go anywhere, but this feels like, some kid at a Mets game, first time, homeschooled, not many friends, gets to go to the game, gets a hot dog, gets asked for ketchup, and the whole stadium or the whole section he's in is like, what the hell? Throw this kid out, throws all their food at him, kind of sets him on it's like an origin story for some future evil person, and insinuating that what happens when you put ketchup on hot dogs is society labels you an outcast, and then you return with some kind of vengeful plan. I don't know what to do with this. I just love it. I want it to be a thing. This picture is amazing. I'm sure it's referencing something I don't know that is cooler than what I just said, but that's what I got. That's what came to the brain.
Yeah, it's such a, you're right. It's a very specific phrase,
Yeah.
but it's hard to wrap that into a movie that doesn't already exist. Like the movie effectively could be anything you want, and then it doesn't even have to have hot dogs in it, unfortunately. Correct. Where is that? Is that Chicago, where that's probably the most heinous to put ketchup on a hot dog?
Yeah, sure. Could be.
Okay, here's a hot take. I like ketchup on my hot dogs. Punch me. I like it there.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks.
Moving on. Tom gives us Who Loves Orange Soda from Barreled Souls.
A lot of intense statements just that have no context back to back here. Who loves orange soda? Not even a question mark.
It almost takes me to like the Popeye story again or something where it's like an orange soda factory. Could be fun. Okay. Turd. The Untappd user Turd F. I assume Turd Ferguson.
Yeah.
Stop Hop Kaboom from Butcher and the Brewer.
Stop Hop Kaboom.
Stop Hop Kaboom. It's almost like it makes me think of Stop Drop and Roll.
Exactly right.
And there's I don't know, maybe there's like a
this is a one-legged bomber that he just stop hopping. His name, they call him Stop Hop Kaboom. Only called him that once though. I don't know what you could do with this. Maybe it's okay. Actually, hold on. Maybe this is like a mockumentary. This is it. This is a mockumentary about the beginning of the B-boys of like street dance. What are they called? Street dancers, and they spit on their break dancing. The B-boys,
the cardboard.
Yeah, on the cardboard. Stop Hop Kaboom. But it's a mockumentary, like, you know, Best in Show or whatever, or Spinal Tap, where they're just interviewing
Stop Hop Kaboom,
fake people who did not start the breakdancing movement, but it's just a fake story about how breakdancing began. And Eugene Levy's in it for some reason.
Wow.
And Catherine Han and all the people you want to, O'Hara rather. All
Julia
the people
Stiles.
Sure. Yes.
But she plays a young black male. Never mind.
I think that would be hilarious. Stop Hop Kaboom.
I don't know enough about breakdancing, but that's all that
neither
movie
were the
can
people
be
who write
now.
the movie. That's
true.
What make it hilarious.
That's true.
It just you're not allowed to Google anything at all about it. Let's try to invent
breakdancing ourselves
now. Wow. I don't think we can do that tonight, but that's funny.
I like it. Turd Ferguson. That's great username. Daryl Narragansett. Thanks, Daryl.
Howdy, neighbor.
It pins bowling too. That's a great spot.
Okay.
Daryl again, Blueberry Ale, also pretty beer. Daryl's having a great night bowling. Also gives us Juice Bomb. Daryl is not bowling; he is just drinking at the bowling alley.
Having a blast.
This could be fun. Okay, from Lee checking in from Pure Project Brewing, Public Eye.
So my first thought is, I know about Private Eyes. You hire them. Just
how much do you know about
who you're
them?
Right, not
I've got 6 on my payroll.
That's right. They're bleeding me dry. I want to find out who saw me putting ketchup on my hot dog and trying to ruin my fucking life. So Private Eye, right? We all know who a Private Eye is. What's a Public Eye then? Is he like the public defender? So Private Eye, he's got equipment, he's got experience, used to be a cop, organized, gets your reports. You pay him on time and he'll figure out, why your daughter ran away from home or whatever. Public Eye, disheveled, sleeps in his car, half in the bag most of the time.
That's still a Private
Forgets
Eye.
who he's working for. I am just describing different levels of Private
Public
Eye.
Eye is the person you hire to prevent something from happening. Private Eye is the spy. Public Eye is like just someone who shows up when your husband's out of town and sits next to him at the bar and he's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you have those warts all over you." Like it's a preventative.
Right. To scare away any potential suitors. That's hilarious. Just someone who shadows whoever you think is going to commit some adulterous crime and embarrasses them before they can. Exactly. Did you poop your pants? Sure smells like you did. When's the last time you showered?
No, I won't bring my daughter to your hotel room again.
God, who is this guy? I think I saw him on the local news in a wanted poster. That's the job of a Public Eye. Shit, that'd be really funny. Played by Gary Busey.
Oh, God, it just got doubly good. Perfect.
Just throwing Busey as himself.
Hugh Grant is the adulterous husband.
Just being tailed by Gary Busey all the time.
Yeah, he's method acting.
Wow,
he's been method acting for a long time.
That would be amazing to see. Just yelling weird, insightful what is that one line he has? Fear is the dark room where the devil develops his negatives. Who are you? When did you start sitting next to me? Quiet down, son. This will be all over soon. You gotta get home to your wife.
Get home to your wife safe.
That'd be hilarious.
That's a
We need Busey back.
That's good. Yeah. He's still alive, right?
Yeah, pretty
He's
sure.
just kind of in
I don't
hiding.
think he'll ever
We'll
die.
say in hiding.
Right.
Yeah.
He's out of the public eye for good reason.
You don't even need to tell him what to do. Just be like, Gary, follow my husband for a day.
Right. You know what to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Just
got
be
it.
yourself.
Woo! I want to see that. Well,
Public
man.
Guy. I like that one.
All right, we're getting close. I can feel it. I
Yeah,
can
that
feel
was
it.
almost it. Tom from Autodidactic Beer.
Oh yeah.
What is that? When you can remember pictures or
Autodidact,
something like that?
Something like that.
Into the Wayside.
Into the wayside.
All I can think of is wacky stories from Wayside High School.
Oh, I went Nicholas Sparks novel immediately.
Ooh.
Into the wayside. I know what a wayside is in this instance.
A wayside is an ethereal plane that doesn't separate anything. I'm making that definition up. But,
And I believed it.
yeah.
Into the wayside. So the ghost love story. Love it.
Not like Ghost. Different.
Well,
No pottery.
right. She's into painting.
Yeah.
Who keeps moving my arm? This tree is garbage. I can't paint anymore.
Another $6,000 portrait. Yeah.
Exactly right. Trying to paint to overcome the death of her husband, and the ghost husband keeps messing it up.
Except
thinking he's being romantic.
he died of Parkinson's. So I don't know if that's
What's wrong
actually-
with me? I think I caught his Parkinson's. No, listen to me, doctor.
Look at my paintings.
Oh, I knew it.
Okay, beer's working.
Oh.
Easy one from Steven gives us from Scott Brewing. Carpe diem.
Carpe diem. Seize that day. Seize the carp.
It's a fishing movie.
As Zach Galifianakis would say in Out Cold. Seize the carp. I think it was his line. Might have been someone else's. Anyway.
Carpe diems. Yeah. Okay. Great. I mean,
There's
like
probably a movie there, but I just don't. Carpe.
there is, but it's just like, it's
Yeah.
another movie about learning. You have to take advantage of the time
Yeah.
that's given to you, and however we tell that story.
You're
is,
right. You're right. We've told it 9 times tonight. Okay.
John C.
Spire City. Ooh, Spire City by what is it? Wetland Spring
I
Farm?
was having a hard time with that.
Wheatland?
Wheatland or wetland?
Wheatland.
Depends on where you live, really. Wheatland. Wilfred.
Wheatland Spring Farm and Brewery.
Spire City.
That's huge. I mean, that's so broad. It could be what happens in Spire City. It's almost like New Jack City or whatever. Other, just pick a. Although Spire City maybe isn't the end of the world and dark like New Jack.
Spire City is experimental compound, kind of like what Salt Lake City was going to be, sort
Ooh.
of. But a very wealthy businessman has bought this huge prop of land,
Okay.
and he's got all these wind turbines that are going to generate power because the end of the world has been predicted. There's
Okay.
a meteor that's going to crash in,
Okay.
global warming, and people won't be able to continue to live. So he's got this huge underground bunker that he's built out, and power is going to come from the nuclear winds that still are whipping around the earth, although the surface gone.
Right.
So that's Spire City. And does the movie take place is it just an underground bunker situation where we're living almost like in a spaceship, or is it about the spires themselves and like the Mad Max gangs that are out here trying to cause trouble to get the spirelings to rise up?
Well, maybe that's and Spire, right? Spire is just like a big. In this case, you're saying the wind turbines are the spires.
Yep.
It's kind of a city in quotes of wind turbine field or whatever, full of wind turbines that's catching this nuclear wind. So maybe that's. So I think you've said it all. So the plan, or what we know, I guess, at the start of the movie is everything John just said. Where the movie starts is 100 years after this has happened. All the Mad Max stuff has happened. Most of those gangs have killed themselves off, and the sensor in the bunker that's like a huge city underground full of hundreds of people finally says like it's safe to go up to the surface again. At the same time, by happenstance, luck, destiny, whatever, like the last of the Mad Max gangs finally arrive at Spire City, which at this point has been fought. It's like Jerusalem. It's been fought over by every gang. Everyone's conquered it, lost it, reconquered it, lost it again, because they can like kind of jack into the power of the turbines.
Yeah, they can't get underground, but
they can power their super 4x4 awesome death machines,
air purifiers,
right? Sure, for a little bit in this Spire City. So it's very sought after. But again, like, it's kind of basic. So that's where the movie starts, is with these kind of peace and loving underground. That's a short movie if a bunch of hippies come out of ground like a biker gang. Just like
rape those, kill those.
Back on the menu. Just razes through them all with fire swords, and then they own Spire City. So I guess it's a short film, but damn it, I mean, we could make it long. I can see.
There could. It doesn't tie into the title, but there's probably one kid down there. I mean, these are now we're with a generation of people that have never seen the surface,
right?
But there's like somebody's been just watching Jackie Chan movies, and he's like, I'm gonna. And so he's been like training, and
he's an outcast because fighting has been outlawed for 50 years.
Yep.
In this hippie commune,
all altercations are solved like via text message. No emojis, just
or like a dance off or something, like something fun and communal.
The mayor and everyone goes up there and they dance off the Mad Max gang and just never come back. Yeah,
I feel threatened. You know what to do, everyone! Quick. 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be amazing. So you've got the West Side Story happening, and a bunch of starving, hungry cannibals watching it from a hilltop, going, "What do we do with them? Never seen food move like this." Man,
pale skins.
Look good on the barbecue. So, I don't know what the heck the movie is. This is fun talking about it, though. Shoot.
That was good.
Okay.
That was good. A couple more, probably.
All right, good. Yeah, we're close. We're close.
I'm going to skip Citra Acra.
Okay.
And I'm going to give us a big spin.
Here we go. We're back on the gambling floor.
Okay, and we're going to end on Nitro Merlin, which could exist, but I'm going
to... a smokier, smoother Merlin the Wizard, right? He just got velvet robes. Okay.
Foam Brewers
from
John C. ... Like clockwork.
Oh, shoot. This feels like it might be it. The ... Let's get a feel for it. Let's see what we like. So what is like clockwork?
I get a couple ideas.
Okay.
But, this might be a potential.
Okay.
So I'm just going to drop one idea, and then maybe we'll do like a couple ultimatums.
Yeah.
The one thread is going to be fate.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see, said the blind man. Like clockwork. So maybe, that's fun. Oh, okay. I can see a movie here, a kind of an It's a Wonderful Life type thing where we've got two fates, let's call them, two interdimensional supernatural beings. They have an easy gig. They just have to watch Earth. It's all been planned out. Every little step you take, every gust of wind, every pebble that falls into a lake, they all know when they're all going to happen. So they just got to kind of watch this thing do what we all know it's going to do until one day it does something it shouldn't. And that's where the story begins. Like clockwork becomes no longer the moniker of Earth. Some change happens. It's the birth of a little boy, a boy in a small hamlet in New Jersey, a boy with the last name Jovi Bond.
He was stillborn. He wasn't supposed to make it.
His mother was right. His mother was on every drug known to man. No way you should have made it. No way. And yet he fought to survive. That's not what the movie will be.
It's not the actual Bon Jovi story, although it might be close.
His hair is perfect. Okay. Anyway, that's not what like clockwork would be. That's just silly. But I like this. I like that we can play with fates. I like that there may be something here.
Okay, let's hold that. And
Okay.
what do you say?
Give us some ultimatums. Yeah,
You want to do 3?
three?
Three's the magic
three
number.
non-beer. 3 is the
3
magic
non-beer
number.
ultimatums.
I love this.
Okay, here we go.
I am
Starting the clock.
Sweating. Let's do it.
Sunbeam Pale?
Sunbeam?
It's Sunbeam on the
Yeah,
picture
so
of the
it's
can, but
Sunbeam.
it's spelled wrong on Untappd. Sunbeam Pale.
That's
That's a
just
beer
too-
name.
too beery,
it
of
doesn't
course.
count. Oh.
Killer bees! Son of a gun! Wow, and just like that. Well, okay, we have...
Okay, no elaborating.
Yeah.
It's 3, and then
Yes.
it's make or break.
Yes.
Killer Bees
That
from
is
Melvin Brewing.
amazing. Killer
Thank you,
bees.
Jason.
Killer bees.
Then we got Jewel Bach, that's beer. Then we got RPM, that's beer. Then we got Florets from Other Half, broccoli related.
Okay, I got it.
Florets is not beer, so it has to count.
Okay, got it. Rats.
I already know where my brain is. It's not on Florets.
I don't have anything for this. Florets. Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you, Steve, for submitting beer
I'm sure it's a
alternative
great
number
beer.
2, Juicebox Hazy.
That's hazy.
That's 2 beer.
beer.
Barrel aged old scallywag. That's 2 beer. Vanilla cream ale.
Beer.
That's 2
All
beer.
the beers come out when we get to the ultimate.
Clearwater coconut porter. I'm not
Oh
even.
my
That's
gosh.
all right. It's gonna take a while to get back to Into the Maelstrom from Bottlelogic Brewing.
All right.
Thank you, Dennis. That's our third option.
That's
so we've
it.
got Into the Maelstrom, Florets, Killer Bees, or Like Clockwork.
Man.
I'm gonna do a mental exercise with you,
All right,
Harrison.
good.
We're in junior high, and we
Okay.
just moved
Oh,
up
God.
to the basketball team, and it's the final game and the final play and everything. And I look at you and I pass you the ball. The ball's in your court, and then I run into the locker room.
I'm out there naked, having to shoot this ball myself. This is a
Into
dream,
the
right?
Maelstrom, Killer Bees, Florets, and Like Clockwork. I know which one I want.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right, go.
Well, damn. I mean, I think I want Killer Bees.
me
but
too. I want
think-
Killer Bees.
I don't know about Like Clockwork. Could be fun, but I think I want Killer Bees.
I want Killer Bees. I think we need Killer Bees. I think we both saw it and immediately laughed, and also haven't said anything yet.
True. It could. Harrison. It could go anywhere.
That's right. It could go anywhere, but I see a version of it. It's foggy now, but it'll clear up soon. I think we're doing Killer Bees.
I think that's it. I think our feature is locked in. At this point,
Woo!
thanks for hanging out and drinking with us. I don't know how long that was, but we'll see you next Wednesday when we figure out what the hell Killer Bees is gonna be.
Let's kill some bees, baby.
Well, okay,
Or
maybe
let's-
okay.
Kill some
Killer
let's-
of bees.
Let's kill
No.
some. Let's watch some bees kill some stuff.
Yeah, that's right.